Hi, good day dear audience. As I said in one of my previous videos a month ago that I want to extend my Y series digital analysis to something other than boxing, namely war conflicts, especially the Ukrainian-Russian war conflict as it is of global interest. But as regards all war conflicts, it's not much more complicated than to put the strength factors covering gain or loss simply by ones and zeros. I will introduce weight factors of each item covering the win or loss. So watch the video. I hope it would be first of all understandable, interesting and not boring. See my video together. Goodbye dear audience. Actually, all this is meaningless unless there is a maximum for the weight factors given to each of the belligerent countries, and how much each of the belligerent countries or fighting countries take as a part from this mark lesser than the maximum, of course. And simply what I am going to do is to scroll the table of the maximum weight factor mark, and next to scroll the table given to each of the belligerent countries to show how much marks given to each of them. And then I will scroll the two tables side by side to see how much this mark side by side with the marks given to each of these items to the belligerent countries, and to see how much far each of them from the maximum mark. But this is not an exam paper, so not if a belligerent country gets more than 50, it doesn't mean it will win. No, both could get less than 50, but one of them will win if it has got more marks than the other country. A remarkable value. Why? Because this is simply rough estimation. One could overestimate the value of a parameter in one of the countries or underestimate it. So to be sure this country will succeed or the other depends on how much it gets more than the other by a remarkable value. It should be by a remarkable value, because this is simply rough estimation. So now I am scrolling the table in front of you to see the maximum weight mark of each item, and next I will scroll the table for the marks given to each country in each of these items. Of course, this is the number or the mark given to each of the countries in each parameter. Of course, this is not the ratio of their actual possessed things. For example, the area, I have given Ukraine 90 in area while Russia 40, while the actual area of Ukraine is 0.6 million square kilometers, while Russia 17 million kilometers, that's including Siberia, of course. Why? Because the area of Russia assists in the war slightly, while Ukraine, its area is highly effective. Why? Because the area of the country under attack, because Ukraine actually it is the country under attack. The country under attack, the more the area, the more the distraction of the attacking country. So that's why I have given Russia 90 while Ukraine 90 while Russia 40. Although the area of Russia is the greatest country in regarding area in the world. Ukraine, by the way, is the greatest country, with the exception of Russia, the greatest area in European countries. All are less than 0.6 million kilometers. Germany, I think, 0.35 million kilometers. Great Britain, 0.28 million kilometers, and so. The population is meaningless. I am justifying just two items. So any one of you could think of, my dear audience, could say, the ratio is 43 millions, the population of Ukraine, compared to Russia 143 millions. Why have you given 40 to Ukraine and Russia 100? That's not the actual ratio, or not proportional to the 43 to 143 millions. Yes, because not all the population is participating in the war. Actually, the population plays a part of the role, but don't try to include it identical, or that the ratio should be the same as the actual numbers. That is not the two numbers would not be in proportion with the real ratio. That would be madness. That's how I have estimated things. One could say, for example, drones. Of course, Russia is perhaps have an excellent fleet of drones. So I have given Russia 300 compared to Ukraine, which have drones but not so advanced and lesser in number than Russia. In addition, I have given Russia, I have given the drones in the maximum weight factor of a fighting country 400, while, for example, I have given an aircraft carriers 350. One might contradict me and say drones 400, while that's the maximum weight factor, of course, while air carriers 350. Yes, because the practical and experimental battlefield results showed that they are highly effective in targeting military and even civil targets. So again, I will put the two tables side by side. I prefer to put the maximum weight factor on the right, while the numbers given as a fraction from the maximum on. Let's have these at the same level. Here the maximum, here the maximum of each item, maximum weight factor, and here the number given that each country got in these items. Anti-tank missiles 80 for Ukraine, 50 for Russia. One could ask, yes, Ukraine is provided with high quality and highly technological anti-tank missiles. Russia 50 of them, each of them, that's the maximum. Roadways, one could ask, why have I given Ukraine 70, Russia 20? The roadways in Russia are meaningless, actually, while in Ukraine they help in movement of military equipment. And by the way, Ukraine is one of has an excellent roadway network. Of course, for example, submarines, Russia has 70 submarines, while the maximum weight factor of submarines in a conflict is 300. So Russia is given 170, while Ukraine 0. It has no submarines. Assisting countries, I have given Russia 100 out of 100 because the assisting countries are near it, and namely Belarus and Chechen, and while Ukraine is assisted by countries slightly far away, not 100, although Poland is one of the assisting countries side by side, but not all the equipments are Poland. Many of them come from Germany, from perhaps England, but pass through Poland. So the distance would why the Ukraine hasn't taken the full mark. Equipments, of course, Russia has enough equipments on its own. No one supply it from friendly countries. Supply it assisting countries supply it by equipments. Ukraine is given a mark 650 out of 1,200, which is the maximum, because they could provide it with more advanced equipments, longer range rockets, but they are afraid might make international problems with Russia. So that's what each of them got in the total of the strength factors in a war. Russia got 2,365, that's less than the 50%, of course, because the maximum mark of the sum of the weight factor is 5,900, while Ukraine got 2,080. This could rise if and only if the assisting countries got provided Ukraine with more equipments, because the maximum number of equipments is much more than that, as you see here, 1,200. Still there is 550 for Ukraine. So if supplied with 500 or even 400, it would exceed Russia. and would win the war. Or let it be 500 to have more exceed Russia by a remarkable amount of numbers. So that's all. I hope my comparison for weight factors given and for each item for each country is interesting. Okay, good, dear audience, goodbye.